let's get Simon onto the show first. This is his debut on the Tone Show. Si, how you doing, man? How are your nerves ahead of the game, bro, on Sunday?
Funnily enough, yesterday my stomach was weird from the morning. But I'm better today, so probably tomorrow and Sunday will be horrible. But right now I'm actually feeling okay. I'm confident in our team and how we're gonna do there. But that's me talking on the Friday. Ask me tomorrow and Sunday, I probably say something different.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'm probably the same. Big up to Tone. Big up to Tone, man. How's your stomach? You got a dodgy stomach?
No, not at the moment. I'm having curry tomorrow, so it could be after that. But right now, mate, I'm on it. I'm ready. I'm excited. Bring it on.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Punny, with the 2 months, said he's scared about the match on Sunday. Well, listen, I mean, it's a big game. Of course, it's a big game. But Tone, I want to get straight into this because me and you, I've seen your tweets, so me and you have a slightly different opinion on this. My position on this is pretty clear to most of the people who watch the channel because I've said it consistently for quite a while. I think we need to win the game, and I'll put to you my rationale behind that. Yeah. One. I respect Liverpool so much, and I looked at their fixtures after this game, and I know some people will say, oh, they've got some tough games. I genuinely think that they win every game after this, maybe bar Villa. Villa away is obviously a tough game. I think Spurs at home, they beat Spurs at home. United at Old Trafford, yeah, people are trying to tell me Fulham away. Like, I just think they beat these teams. So it's not necessarily that I don't believe City will win games after the game against Liverpool, but the Liverpool, I just don't see who takes points off them, really, other than maybe Villa. Furthermore to that, if we don't beat Liverpool, that means across all the top 6 sides this year, we've only beat United home and away. We've not beat Liverpool once. We've not beat Tottenham once. We've not played them twice. We've only played them once in the league so far. We've not beat Chelsea. Like we're struggling against the top 6 sides. And we have Arsenal, who are absolutely cooking everyone, and then Villa. Now, I still think we could win those games, but like, I just can't be that confident going into those games if we again fail to be a top 6 side. So that's my position on it. I know you're maybe a little bit more open, but what's your view on this game? Do we need to win this match?
No. Well, obviously I want to, and I think we will, but no, I don't think we need to win it. I think a draw wouldn't certainly be the end of the world. I think it would be a point off. I think Liverpool, to be honest, I think Liverpool and City will drop points before the end. I know United are terrible, but they've got to go to United. United have beat them recently, maybe a couple of times at Old Trafford. If it was at Anfield, that game, I'd say 5-6-0, but could be difficult for them at Old Trafford. West Ham away, I've just got the fixtures here to my left with Liverpool, so that's not an easy game. Villa away, you said already, and I can't remember who they've got. Oh, they've got Wolves at home. They'll probably win that one, but I think they've got some tricky games, Liverpool, and as of City, Spurs and Arsenal, as you said. But I just can't, even if we lose, and it would be incredibly difficult from that spot if we lost. I think that would be 4. That's very tough, but I still wouldn't write us off completely. We've been in worse situations than that. Okay, Liverpool very good. And I respect Liverpool for the run and stuff that they go on all the time around this time of year. But I just can't write City off. I can't, because we've proven it in the past that we can go and win the last 9-10 games. And yeah. For that reason, really, I just can't write us off, even if it's 4 points. Certainly not 1.
I wouldn't write us off. I wouldn't, even if we lost the game, I wouldn't write us off. But I think the chances of us winning the league if we lose the game is very slim. I mean, it's 4 points with an inferior goal difference, and our 2 games after Liverpool are also extremely difficult. Like, I think the chances of us winning the league if we lose against Liverpool is so low. But I wouldn't say it's over. I mean, it for me, it almost would feel over. I would seriously start looking towards the Champions League and saying, really focus on that. But Si, you come in here, man, because I genuinely don't actually know your view on this because I've not seen any tweets from you. You've been keeping it close to your, keeping it card close to your chest. But what's your take on this? Does City need to win? If is a draw okay? So, what's your sort of views?
I don't think we need to win. I think there's still, after this round of matches, there will be 10 matches left, and of course, not winning will definitely put us in a disadvantage. Liverpool will be favorites, in my opinion. When you compare our Liverpool and Arsenal's remaining games, we definitely have the hardest run. Like we face, what is it, like 5 of the top 6 again, and almost all of those teams we are actually lost points to early in the season. So if we don't win, it will be difficult. But I don't think it's completely over. I do trust that we will pick up the necessary points, no matter like what happens at Anfield. But I have a funny feeling that we will win on Sunday. Although I don't think we actually need to win, but I do think we will win. So that will make us favorites.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm confident we'll win the game. I know it's kind of mad because people will say you've only won there twice in the last 20 years, and that is true. But you know, if you look at the games recently that we've played against them, we've not been that bad against them, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like the game that we lost last year, we were the better team, and then obviously Kevin De Bruyne puts in a terrible cross, and Cancelo, you know what I mean, defends horrifically. I remember the 2-2 where Salah scored the great goal. Cancelo again kind of let us down in that game. We've actually played okay, and I feel that like we've been playing at a decent level. Maybe we're just not quite getting that stroke of luck that maybe you need in these games. But like, Tone, how confident are you going into this game? Because let's all just get it clear, yeah. This match is going to be so hostile, like it's going to be unbelievable. Like it's going to be a tricky game to win, and if we win it, I think honestly we deserve so much credit for going there and getting the 3 points. But I genuinely think we can do it. I think we will win the game.
I'm very confident. I normally am with City, and to a point that I get called deluded every 5 minutes, really. But yeah, I mean, I was looking at the record just to the right there, and yeah, I think we've lost 2 of the last 5 at Anfield in the Premier League. So the way people look at Anfield, you'd think we'd lost all 5, sort of 3 or 4-0. But yeah, our record's not that bad in recent years, and I'm confident. I look at the midfield. Our midfield's, in my view, far superior. Defence, arguable. Keepers, well, they haven't got Alisson this weekend, so Ederson's the better keeper. Obviously, Haaland's, you know, they've got Salah and so on. But I'm confident in the team. We're just starting to click, play well. We'll ignore the Copenhagen one in midweek. That was a bit of a non-event. But you know, we're starting to play well. We're clicking. I expect Foden, De Bruyne, Rodri, all these guys to be starting. Haaland up top. We've been there. We've been in the toughest games. We've won the top trophies. I'm confident we'll win there, despite the atmosphere. And I will not. I promise I will not. You know, like I said on the other show, tinfoil hat it. But the officials bug me more than Salah. Salah's amazing, but the officials bug me more. And that is the only part I'm not confident about is the officiating. The rest, on the pitch, in the game, I am very confident with City. Very.
Yeah. Well, listen, the referees obviously they're so bad, but they're bad for everyone. And, you know, we just got to go there and turn up. And, you know, the players are fired up. You can see obviously Trent's comments have certainly riled up a couple of our players, and sort of leads me on to this topic at the moment of you know, these comments that are flying between, you know, obviously Trent come out and said what he said, and Haaland responded. Diaz has also responded as well. Do you think, and this is open to either of you, but Si, I'll come to you first on it. Do you think that was a wise move from Trent? Do you think that the Liverpool players and maybe the manager Jurgen Klopp will be looking at Trent and say, "Why did you say that?" Like, because surely that's probably made City want to win even more, to like sort of rub his face in it. Like, do you think that was a smart move from Trent? Or do you think it could actually be smart because it could rattle us maybe, and like we might not focus? And you know, what do you think?
I don't think it's a smart move, and I don't think that it would rattle Pep or any of the players. They have handled more difficult quote from other people and players and coaches through the years. But I have to say one thing about the comment from Trent which really triggered me, was they have probably been more successful than us. Probably. I mean, probably. We have twice the amount of trophies than club within the club era, and he says they have probably been more successful than us. They have one Premier League, we have 5. We have the same amount of Champions League. They have only like retained one of the trophies, which is the Carabao Cup, and that triggered me. I know he's injured, but I didn't think it was like a head injury. It was baffling. Might be more successful than us, so that triggered me, but I don't think that it will trigger any of the players, and I think that both Diaz and Haaland, even though that rival fans will say that they are rattled, I don't think they're rattled. I think they actually answered and commented on the quote very professional and calm, and also they should be allowed to throw a slight dig back. So I think they handled it well, and I don't think it will have any effect on the game on Sunday.
Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with Si. Yeah, absolutely. These guys will be giving each other stick anyway. Behind the scenes on WhatsApp groups, a lot of them are mates. Do you know what I mean? They're all, they have a go at Trent. I expect Trent and Diaz went out for bloody dinner last week. I don't know that, but you know what I'm saying. I love the responses from Haaland and Diaz to. I think they were both to Trent, or Diaz's seemed more of a generic one, but love the responses. It's just a bit of banter in it between players. I think the media take it maybe more seriously. One of the newspapers this morning said something like Haaland rages at Trent. Well, he didn't rage, did he? He definitely, that's not the word I'd use. But I think they hype it up more than probably the players. Pep won't be using that as a thing to say, oh, Trent said this, because the players are going, oh, I couldn't give a toss. That's my view. I don't think they care. And with Si, we've got far more better and bigger reasons to beat Liverpool than Trent mouthing off. He's going to be sat at home, like somebody said.
Well, that's what I find quite funny, Tom, is that like, and some Liverpool fans didn't get what I meant by this when I tweeted it out, but I actually kind of find it quite funny from Trent that he's like thrown this grenade into the arena, and he's not even going to be there. He's just going to be like, and they're like, yeah, but he was in, and some Liverpool fans commented on it saying, he was already injured, you idiot. Did you not know that? I was like, yes, like, you don't understand what I'm saying. Like, I find it very funny that he's caused this chaos and he's not even there to deal with it. Like, he's his own teammates. I just find that quite funny. It's not a dig at Trent or anything. I'm just saying, it's just, I think it's quite a funny thing. Well, yeah, listen, I think it's going to add some further spice to the game. This game is going to be intense. I think that there's going to be, wouldn't surprise me if there's some big challenges going in there. And obviously, Michael Oliver's the referee. He's not the shittest referee in the world, but he does bottle big decisions at times. We've seen him do that. Sometimes he does get very egotistical. We've seen that at Anfield when he sent off Diogo Dalot for 2 yellow cards in the space of 10 seconds for an incorrect decision on a throw-in. So he can be a bit of excuse my language, it can be a bit of a prick at times. But hopefully he referees the game correctly. But I always say about referees, right? If you play well for the 90 minutes, 9 times out of 10, you'll win the game regardless of what the referee does. Yeah, because if you play to your ability, if we play to our ability, we should beat Liverpool. Yeah. So I try not to look at the referee too much in this one, but unfortunately, referees do have a big say in these games, and hopefully, I mean, Liverpool have been at the end of a few bad decisions themselves this season. They've also had some favourable decisions, but it does work with. And listen, I'm very much a person that I do genuinely think that decisions even themselves out over the course of the 38-game season. I know some people don't agree, but that's my view, and I like to believe that as well. Because if you don't, then you've got to go down the whole conspiracy route, and then people having a look at VAR tables and who's been punished the most. And I just think, oh, come on, man. I mean, it's 38 games. You're telling me that you didn't win the league because of refereeing decisions? Probably not true. Like, so if we lose the league by a point, instead of blaming a referee, we could blame ourselves for dropping up 2 points against Palace at home when we was 2-0 up. You know what I mean? I like to look at my own team rather than look at referees, but it's going to be crazy. Guys, we are going to get into sort of like predicted 11s, our 11s here, because this is one of the best parts of the show. I want you guys to get involved who you think is going to be playing where. Make sure you drop a like, and big up to Chicken Wing with the super chat as well. He says, we don't need to win, but we 100% must beat Arsenal. Well, Arsenal, of course, play tomorrow against Brentford. They're 100% going to beat Brentford. They're at home. I have no hope for Brentford. I've watched them a few times recently, and honestly, they don't look great. they don't look great, to be honest with you, at the moment. They're not playing particularly well.
No.
So yeah, I think that'll be an easy win for Arsenal. That'll mean they go top of the table, and again they can just sit back and relax and wait for the City Liverpool game. But yeah, let's get into the starting 11s. Tone, I'll come to you.
Yeah.
What are we doing at the back?
Right, Edison, obviously, he's starting.
Yeah.
Let's go. Right, let's go right Walker, please.
So is this your 11 or is this a predicted 11?
I'll go. This is this is what I'll go with. Yeah, this will be mine. I'll be honest.
Manager.
Yeah. And await we're going to get relegated comments now in the chat. They're not wrong. Yeah, this is mine, and I don't mean to sound like, but I think this is what Pep will go with as well. So it's the same for this one.
Okay.
Left Ake.
Yeah.
Gvardiol, good to see him back, but I don't think he'll start this one. I love Akanji. It's arguable he's been our best defender this season. He's certainly in the conversation, but I'm going Diaz Stones at centre, please.
Okay, Diaz Stones.
Yeah.
Sai, do you disagree with any of that? Would you change it, or would you agree with that back four?
Only thing that I might change would be Akanji for Walker. Normally in big matches where they have like rapid forwards, I would play Walker, but they have Diaz on the left, and I think that Akanji would be able to handle his pace. And I just think that Akanji is better for our build-up and like control on the ball in their half. So that's the only thing I might change, but I like it. Like Walker could have a one-on-one with Salah after a corner, as we saw with Cancelo a few seasons ago, or last season was it? So I like it. It's also how I would do it probably.
You know what it is for me, yeah, is like, Diaz. I never really see Diaz making too many runs in behind opposition's defenses, and I feel that's where like Walker's really kind of needed. I think it depends on how brave you want to be. I mean, just FYI, I don't see a world in which Walker doesn't start this game. I think Walker 100% starts, but just for the conversation and the sort of the debate, because it is quite an interesting conversation. I do really think that. I do think it's very much a case of risk versus reward. How much do you want to win? If you're going there and you absolutely 100% have to win, then I think I'd start Akanji, because he's more likely to help build up our player, more likely to help us score goals than maybe Kyle Walker. But Kyle Walker does that does add that little bit more protection. But do you need that protection when Diaz is playing in front of you? Because I don't really see. I don't know. Do any of you guys see Diaz making runs in behind? Whenever it's normally Núñez who makes the runs in behind, and he's going to be on the centre half of Ruben Diaz and John Stones, not necessarily Walker. But you just have Walker there for the protection. I don't know.
Sorry, Diaz. Yeah, when you said Diaz, I kept thinking of ours running in behind at first. Luis Diaz. Yeah, I think Walker's needed for the pace element. If we don't have Walker, we don't really have any pace, I don't think. Although, no, we don't. So I would have him in, because it's not just him; it's Salah, and the quick breaks, like we saw when they won 1-0 from the corner. They're up the other end. So I think you need Walker just to sit there, not someone like Cancelo, who obviously won't be playing, but you know what I mean. You've got to have someone there with pace, in my view, for this game, because they've got so much of it. Salah and Diaz, ridiculous. So, but Walker's got to play. You're right about Diaz behind. He does tend to cut in, doesn't he, off the left? He tends to cut in on the edge of the box.
He's more of a creator / long range shooter than getting behind, because who's making those passes? He's normally the guy who's trying to set up the play. Here's a question, because 4-4-4-4 has just put it in the chat. Is there a world in which you could see maybe Ruben Diaz dropped for Akanji? Because Ruben Diaz is the slowest centre back we have at the football club. Now, he is a leader, and on his day when he's on it, he's probably our best defender. He's he's playing a lot better than he was in maybe December, November. I still don't think he's near his best. But Akanji is clearly faster than Diaz. Is there a world in which we see Pep potentially drop Diaz for Akanji? Because Akanji just does not deserve to be dropped at all. Now, I know it's a difficult one, and I've said this on a previous show that someone's getting dropped that really kind of doesn't deserve to be dropped. But is there a side? I'll come to you. Maybe is there a world in which Diaz gets dropped? And he has dropped Diaz for big games before.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. I don't think it will happen. I think you make all the right arguments to why it could happen. I just think that Diaz is our leader in the back, and he just makes everyone that 5 or 10% better when he's on the pitch. And I just think in a game like this, where the atmosphere will be crazy, like a lot of the players can maybe be a slight more disoriented during the game if the noise level gets way up there and it's a bit chaotic. So I just think we have to have Diaz in the back line for this game, and I think that Pep will be aware of of the threats of pace from Liverpool, and they will have a plan for it. As Tone said with Walker, having him as a stopgap, when they break, is like none of them can run from Walker, and he just provides that more of a security that way. But you can also turn it around. I mean, if you don't play Walker, I know we talked about Diaz, but if we play Akanji on the right, our defense in the box and attack in the box will be that much better, as Akanji is just better in there. And they might look at that when they try to choose who to play, because they have Konate. I think he will be ready. They have Van Dijk. They're quite dangerous on corners and dead balls and so. But you could do it. I just don't think I think Diaz will play. I think.
Yeah, big up to Bevel with a super chat. Says Akanji is a must. Both games between Liverpool and Arsenal are must wins. One of best opportunities to steamroll them on Sunday without Alisson and without Trent Alexander-Arnold. Well, the first bit, Akanji is a must. I mean, I kind of agree. I think he is a must. He's been our best defender for me this year. But the problem is, who do you drop? It's not easy to drop anyone. Even Walker. I've seen a couple of people in the chat say, "Well, Walker's not been particularly great this season." He's not, but more recently, he's been a lot better. And you potentially might regret that if Nunes starts getting behind, because even though Nunes might play more centrally, Rashford plays centrally, and Walker prevented at least one goal. Probably you'd expect against Man United, even though he's technically a right back. Diaz is again another shout. Could you drop Ruben Diaz? He's the slowest out of our back line, but he's the leader at the back. Again, Diaz is probably the worst on the ball. I'm not slagging Diaz off. I'm just saying the facts. He's the slowest, and he's probably the worst on the ball out of our centre back options. And Akanji might be better to be playing in that centre's position on the ball to absorb the pressure and deal with it. But then again, you then have no leader, so. Difficult decisions for Pep Guardiola to make. I think that come 2:30, I think it is, when we get the team news, I think we'll find that Akanji misses out, which is very harsh.
Yeah.
And do I agree with it? I don't know, because I don't know who I'd drop. If I'm going to drop anyone, I don't know, because I was going to say, if I was going to drop anyone, I'd drop Walker, but then I really think that you might regret that if Nunes starts getting in behind.
A reason I think it will be Diaz playing is also that Trent is not playing, and one of Liverpool's best attacks or weapons against us the past few years have been him playing Salah or Nunes in behind from his position. And even though that Bradley is doing great, he's not Trent when it comes to like the delivery of balls. So delivery of balls, that sounds stupid, but yeah. Delivery wise, he's not Trent, so I just think that will speak in favor of Diaz. I just think he will start that game. But it's a difficult one, but
it's definitely difficult, guys. If you're watching this back on the replay, let us know in the comments section below. Who would you play Akanji? And if you are playing Akanji, who you dropping? Because that's a difficult one. Big up to Kenneth, says all that, and then Nunes just steps up and chaos is it, says Chaos. Well, this is the thing about Nunes. he's going to get space in behind, and that's a bit scary. So if you're going to get space in behind, you're going to be brave not to be playing Kyle Walker in there. You are. Right, let's move it into the midfield then. Tone, continue with your midfield, man.
Rodri, straight in. Yeah. Let's go. I'm trying to remember what I did now. But let's go De Bruyne as well, please.
Yeah,
just there, mate. Yeah, lovely. Christ, I can't remember what I did now. I don't know why I'm looking over there. Let me look at these players now. Bernardo out on the right.
Yeah.
Left Foden.
Yeah.
Which I know that one's an arguable one with people who's going to start on the left. And then Kovacic beside De Bruyne and Rodri. Yeah, that's what I think the midfield will be. And Haaland, obviously up top.
This again is a very difficult call about who you play where, and it kind of like depends on who you play in the midfield, depends on your left winger, depends on your right winger. Sai, you going with this? Any changes to this setup?
No, this was also what I've gone with. I've heard and see people talk about not utilizing Foden in the middle, which is something we all would like to do every game. But I do think that we're at a point where the interchanging between Bernardo, Kevin, and Foden is so good and fluid that we talk about that Kevin De Bruyne will go to the right and Bernardo will invert and De Bruyne will do some crosses. They will change within the midfield. So Kovacic will go to the right, De Bruyne will go out to the left where Foden plays, and Foden will invert and he will do crosses from outside. So I just think the interchanging is so fluid now that it doesn't really matter. But this is how I would do it. Even though if Doku is fit, I would not go with Doku for this game. Grealish would have been perfect because then you can play Foden in the middle because he gives you that extra bit of control out on the wing. But I think Tone is spot on this. Yeah,
I think it is a difficult one for me. Obviously, first of all, like with all respect to Doku, you cannot throw Doku into a game of this magnitude. Yeah. Now, I'm not hating on Doku before anyone starts crying. It's simply the guy's played around 4,500 minutes of professional football in his career. Yeah, that is nothing. This is a must-win game, and for me, the players that play in this game have to be players that have been there and done it in either league titles or respectfully for the country at big moments, right? So I just don't think this is the moment for Doku. Furthermore, on Doku, he's not been playing very well recently, and if he plays against Liverpool and plays badly, he's going to get absolutely fucking destroyed, and his confidence will be on the floor. So I don't think it's very fair on him actually to start. I think this game, play him on the bench, and if you need a goal in the last 10 minutes or whatever, maybe you can throw him on to say we're losing, and we're like, shit, we need a goal, throw him off the bench. When they're tired, maybe that's the thing. That for me is, I'm looking at this thinking that's probably how I'd set up the system. I want to throw a couple of potential variations to this. Julian Alvarez played off the left against Copenhagen at home. Played very well, I thought. He was one of our better players for sure.
Yeah.
Could you potentially put him? Could you see a world in which maybe we'll put Kovacic down here so I don't lose him? But could you see a world in which Alvarez starts in the middle, or could you see a world in which maybe Alvarez plays left, Bernardo plays in the middle, and Foden plays on the right? Because I've got to say, it did very much look like an experiment against Copenhagen. Do you not think so?
It did. And also with what you're showing us right now, if he went with that, what I just talked about, the interchanging, Alvarez and Foden will be able to invert from the wing, and De Bruyne and Bernardo will do the underlaps, which is where they excel. So I wouldn't be surprised if he went with this. He will have the stability within midfield and the creativity of Kev, and then have the possibility to, drag the defenders out of position whenever Alvarez and Foden will invert. And which will leave space on the wing for Bernardo and Kevin to do something. So wouldn't be surprised, and it did look like an experiment, but you never know with Pep. That's the difficult thing.
Yeah, well, this is what Makesh is saying. Tone, you seen that start at 11? Yeah. At 2:45, I've been corrected. It's 2:45 when the team news comes out. Oh, sometimes you get it earlier. Make sure you're following Tone on Twitter because sometimes we get a little bit early team news.
Yeah.
Would you see that team? Yeah, I'll put it back up. I'll put it back up on screen again. The team that Mukeshi suggested. You happy with that team? You confident with that team? Oh, what's your thoughts? You see Alvarez playing left wing?
Yeah, no, I like it. I would be happy with it. I prefer the other one, but it wouldn't overly surprise me if that happens. Definitely, if Alvarez plays, it has to be on from the left, not in the middle. No, I definitely would. I know he comes inside, he works hard, but I don't think he has those attributes to play in the middle of midfield as well as he probably will do out on the left, and he'll work hard with Ake down that left. So certainly could see it, yeah, and I'll be happy with it. But I prefer Kovacic in the middle, that extra bit of legs next to Rodri, that bit of security. And he's also good, Kovacic, at carrying the ball past 2 or 3 men. He's done it numerous times this season. And he runs past 2 or 3 men when you think, oh my God, he's got no chance, and lays it off. That is huge in a game like this. You get behind Liverpool's 2 or 3 sat in midfield and hit that back line. I don't massively rate that Liverpool defence, and I think if you can get at them, and someone like Kovacic, in my opinion, is key in centre mid. He's absolutely key in a game like this, and if he turns up, plays well, yeah, it's huge. In my view.
Yeah. Did you see Liverpool's game last night? Did you watch it?
I saw bits.
I watched Ajax versus Aston Villa, which was an amazing match.
Okay, because they gave away so many chances that if they do that on Sunday, we will thrive. And what Tone just said with Kovacic, when he goes on these runs with the ball, he's so good at spotting the runs of Haaland, way better than except maybe Kevin De Bruyne, of course. But he sees him, he looks for him, and if they give us as much space as they did last night, Haaland will have acres of space, and I think that could be a big weapon for us in that game.
You know, one of the reasons I like this midfield as well, right, is because a lot of people know that I'm not a massive fan of Bernardo Silva in the middle. I don't think he offers enough in terms of creativity or goals. But the one game that I do actually don't mind him in the midfield is against Liverpool at Anfield. But here's the reason why I do like Kovacic in here, because we've got it set up like this, but it depends what you want to do, because you could easily put De Bruyne much more central, give him a bit of a free role, and then sort of set up with a 2. Obviously, Kovacic usually plays on the left of that. And then these two can work in tandem. You know, if Rodri wants to go for, because Rodri's played like Yaya Toure this year. If Rodri wants to go forward, he can, and Kovacic can maybe come a little bit more central and cover him. If Kovacic wants to go on those runs that Sai was just speaking about, then of course Rodri can come in and cover. And of course, this allows freedom for Kevin De Bruyne if you play a sort of more double pivot. And De Bruyne can go wherever he feels the space is on the pitch. Now, the downside to having Rodri and Kovacic and playing De Bruyne is, and I've mentioned this before, is that if Kevin De Bruyne has a bad game or he gets marked out the game, you're struggling slightly in the midfield in terms of creativity. You put a lot of pressure probably on Rodri then to step up, and of course your wingers in Foden and Bernardo. But I do think that midfield 3 of De Bruyne, Rodri and Kovacic, it should give us a decent level of protection down the middle, and it hopefully will give us enough going forward, even if De Bruyne is in and out the games due to being man-marked or struggling to find space. It should give us at least a few opportunities to find those balls in. And Sai is right. Kovacic can see the pass. Now, the execution of the pass, that's slightly different. Sometimes it can be a hit and miss, obviously, as proved by the lack of assist, really. But Sai is right. Kovacic does see that pass, and he tries it a lot. And like I say, he doesn't often come off the pass, but he can see it. So I think most people will go for that team. I think Akanji is very unlucky not to be in it. But other than that, I think that's pretty much what most people would agree on.
Also, don't forget Stones in this, because right now he's in the back 4, but he will push forward, which will allow both runs from Stones himself, Kovacic and Rodri, but interchanging. So the midfielders of Liverpool have a hard time to, like, who do I track? Like, if they keep changing who do the runs of, like going forward, it will be very difficult for that defensive setup to constantly be aware of where do I track back when they push forward. So I think that we will see a lot of Stones, Kovacic, and Rodri interchanging as well between defensive and offensive duties. And we have seen Rodri this season. Like sometimes, as I've seen him do like 6 steps overs in a game. That's a defensive midfielder who has 15 GNA this season. So we shouldn't discount our defensive players, because they do have it in them to make a difference.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I want to speak a bit about Liverpool's 11 and maybe their threat and what we need to do to prevent them. Built to Kenneth again says, if City presses Endo, he receives ball from the keeper, you win this game. If we bypass your press and play balls behind, we win this game, says Kenneth. Obviously, Liverpool fan says you never walk alone. Well, listen, I don't know how this game's going to go. It could go one of two ways, where both teams just go head to head and it'll be an all-time classic. And it's just like, you know, both teams know. Because if Liverpool have the chance, if Liverpool beat City, they go 4 points clear. Yeah. So the prize for Liverpool winning this game is absolutely enormous. Yeah. It makes it very difficult for City to win this league if Liverpool win. So they'll be very up for it of winning. On the flip side, they'll also go, if City win, you know, a lot of people will then be saying City are going to win this league. So it's either going to be an all-time classic and you should get goals galore and it'll be a really open game, or you could get a really, really tight affair where both teams just say, let's just take a point. Let's try not lose, because if you draw the game, okay, it's probably not good for either team because Arsenal will then be top of the table, but at least both teams are still in the title race. City will be a point behind Arsenal. Liverpool will be joint with Arsenal just below them on goal difference. So it will be interesting to see how brave the two managers are. Mukesh, oh yeah, that's the one from before. He says just go for that one. Silva left, centre mid, Foden right, and Alvarez left wing. I don't see that as a ridiculous option. I do think that, especially given how Alvarez played quite well, and Alvarez has had an up and down season, but he's had a good season on the whole. Don't be surprised to see that. Big up to Bevo again with another super chat. Says back four of Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Ake, midfield. You know what? A lot of people in the chat have suggested this. I want to come to you guys on this. Midfield three of Stones, Roderick, KDB. Front three, Silva, right wing, Erling Haaland and Foden. Left wing, Walker, hold, right wing, Foden inverts. Walker, right wing, Stones drops. There's a few people, because as well, I want to ask you guys, do you see Pep Guardiola potentially doing a madness in this game? We have seen him in the past a number of times play just like completely random systems that we've never seen before, or play in a completely different position in a big game that we've never seen before. And there have been a few people in the chat saying, could we potentially not play Kovacic and play Stones midfield tone? You see that as like a potential curveball from Pep?
Yeah, absolutely. He does it less now, Pep, where he starts messing around in bigger games. I've noticed he tends to have settled down a bit with all that. We all remember the Champions League final from a few years ago. But Stones, yeah, absolutely. Stones has got all the attributes to play pretty much anywhere on the field, certainly from midfield back. So Stones starting in midfield wouldn't surprise me at all. He's probably going to spend a lot of his time in there anyway, even if he starts at the back on the formation. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just having a look. Walker, Akanji does. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like that team as well. And this is the good thing with City. There's so many options, so many good players, such a good squad. Us three here could do 4 or 5 different teams and go, yeah, I like it. Options. Stones in midfield, yeah, happy with that.
Listen, I don't want to see it personally, because I don't think this is the game for doing madness. Yeah, and whilst it's not a madness in terms of like not playing Rodri in the Champions League final, like stupid, it's still something that we've not seen. And why would we grow with something that's not tried and tested? Is my view on that. So for me, listen. If that's the starting 11, I ain't gonna sit there and go, fucking hell, why is it on this? Like, he's sabotaging us. You know what I mean? But I will be like,
that's a risk.
It's a risk to play a brand new system, a player in a position that he's not played starting there. I know he inverts into that position, but he's not played that position like playing there at Anfield. It's a very So I guess it's one of those where I always say, if you got big managers make big calls, and you know you kind of want them to make calls. Otherwise, what's the point in having them?
I do actually like the different tactical tweaks you can do with that lineup. I mean, as you said, Walker pushing up on the right wing, Foden inverts, and then he goes back to a back three, and then Stones inverts into midfield. That would give so many headaches for Liverpool if they just kept interchanging between those things, as we talked about earlier. Which is where I think that Liverpool struggle the most is if there's too much movement within their final third and overloading. That's where they struggle. So I like the idea, but as you said, LB, it's a risk doing that. I don't think it will go with that.
No, it is a risk. Right, I do want to come on to Liverpool, but there's a great comment earlier on in the chat that I starred from Elucid. Should we give Oscar Bob a chance against Liverpool? I feel quite confident with him at the moment, but he might not be viable for such a big game. Now, I've said this before, Oscar Bob's probably most similar to Jack Grealish out on that left-hand side. More similar than Núñez, probably more similar than Foden. Foden's a different type of player, clearly more similar than Jeremy Doku. He's obviously not played that many minutes. I think he's played about 700 minutes this year. Pep clearly trusts him because he threw him in at the game at Brentford, but I would imagine that you guys might agree with me, or maybe not, that whilst Oscar Bob has a big future at City and I really like him, this would be a brave call.
Yeah. Sorry. There's no way. No offense to Bob or anything. He's top talent, top player. There's no way he's starting this game. Not a chance. In my opinion, he's not ready for this occasion yet. Maybe next year, maybe the one after, but this is too big of a game to be, I would say, throwing Oscar Bob, and there was someone else in my head just then and it's gone. It would be my answer to him starting this game. Maybe come on, but not starting.
What was it, Bob, who lost the ball against Copenhagen where they did I don't think he will start. No. I think he's good enough, but throwing him in at Anfield for his third or fourth game from start, I mean, you have to have no other choices. I think so. I agree with Joe. I think it's too much.
Big up to LB says Liverpool have a bench full of kids. A bench is full of professional players. I think the bench will be important in this game. Yeah, probably will be. The longer the game goes on at 0-0, or injuries, bookings, all that kind of stuff can play a part. And the bench is 100% crucial in this game. So and we're obviously going to have a stronger bench because Liverpool have got a few injuries. Big up for the super chat, bro. Guys, make sure you do drop a like on the stream. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. You can follow Simon on Twitter, also known as X now, at Simon Manson, and you can also follow Tone MCFC Tone. Buzzing. Right, let's get into the Liverpool team, guys. So this is the team that I think is going to be playing against Manchester City. Kanata is obviously, we're not 100% sure if he's going to be available. Klopp said it's a precaution. He got subbed off as a precaution, so I think he's going to be okay, but we're not 100% sure. If it's not Kanate, he's got two options. It'll either be Konsa or Gomez moves in and Bradley plays right back. They're the two options that Klopp will have available. Endo is obviously available, so we'll whack him in the midfield with McAllister, and Szoboszlai is obviously now back as well. Mohamed Salah, who's not played a lot of football recently, obviously he's been injured. He did come off the bench yesterday. He will play there. And again, the two options that we think we've got here is either Núñez striker, Diaz left wing, or you drop Diaz because he's not been playing very good. You play Núñez left wing in Gakpo in the hole. But let's just go with this as the team. Listen, for me, I just think this Liverpool team will have the same threats as Manchester United did last weekend. I.e., we're probably going to play high line. They're going to have a lot of space in behind us. Núñez making those runs in. He's going to absolutely thrive off of that space. I think that's a clear and obvious threat. Clearly, Salah is dangerous off their right, our left hand side. We're hoping that Nathan Ake can do a good job of him. What Tony, I'll come to you. What do you see here other than the space behind? Is there anything else that you see here as a serious danger to Manchester City other than the space behind?
To be honest, no. I think the space behind is obviously, like you said, the main thing. I'm just having a look. Ake normally does a solid job against anyone, really, but especially Salah. He does quite well against Salah in previous, I think. I could see Walker hopefully keeping Diaz quiet. Nunes, you just never know. He's either the worst player on the pitch or he looks like, the best striker on the planet. He's just balmy. Hopefully he's the former for this one. But midfield, it's obviously a good midfield because they're top of the table. But McAllister could be a threat coming from midfield. He's got a couple of goals recently. He's improved. Robertson's can be a pain if they're pressing down that left. But then if Bernie's on the right, he'll probably keep him fairly quiet and work hard enough to come back with Robertson. Otherwise, not an enormous amount to be. The thing that I find with Liverpool is they play very direct, and I know if there's any of their fans listening, they always have a meltdown when I say this, but they play a lot of long ball. Van Dijk and Konate will whip it up, and their thing is about winning that ball once it's come down, whether it's someone heading it away, whether it's Nunes or whoever laying it off. That is Liverpool's tactic. Every time I see them is long ball, chest it down or win that next ball, and then they're all pushed forward at the same time. So I guess one of the other threats, not just behind, is that direct ball and defending that well. And that's where Rodri and Kovacic will come in to help sweep up. And that is why I think it's key that they both play, because Liverpool are very dangerous if the first quarter's their own goal, in the third quarter of the pitch, if you see what I mean, where you've got Diaz and Salah up to the centre spot, that's where Liverpool win the ball dangerous. And that's why I think we've got to get that midfield packed with Stones coming up as well.
Yeah. You know what? That Robertson threat is dangerous, because we've seen time and time again over the years, Robertson bombing down the wing, and he can deliver a decent ball in the box. Now, a lot of Liverpool fans are telling me that he's not been good for maybe 18 months. He's not been particularly great. That's come from them, not me. So I don't know exactly his form, but yeah, for me, I mean, I'm looking at that midfield and I'm thinking, surely we can dominate that midfield, especially if Stones goes in. Yes, that might be a bit risky because you're leaving a 1v1 Darwin, Nunes and Diaz with the space in behind. That's probably only going to end up one way. But the way I'm looking at this game, and I'll come to you on this on side, I genuinely think that this is a game where you have to risk losing the football match to be able to take the spoils and take the 3 points. And yes, of course, if Stones goes in and you leave Nunes maybe with a one-on-one, if Nunes decides to let Stones go in, because obviously Nunes could go into Stones and then that's better, but then they're not going to do that because then that won't leave them any proper out ball. You do obviously have that major risk with Diaz, but I just feel that in games like this, does fortune favour the brave? I think we've just got to kind of go for it and just hope the players turn up, no mistakes, no bozo moments. And I think if we do that, hopefully we'll get the win. But talk to me about that midfield side. I mean, Kovacic, De Bruyne, Rodri, Endo, Szoboszlai, McAllister. Listen, Liverpool's midfield is decent, but you'd expect the City midfield there to hopefully take control, surely.
Player for player, our midfield is better. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I do think this will be a match where the game is won in the midfield. Hence why I think that Stones will invert. That overload could prove like vital in us winning. And as you say, I think we have to go for it. Sometimes I play poker. Sometimes you just have to go all in. Like we're in a 3-horse race this season, and sometimes you have to risk it to get the biscuit. So I think we're there, and I think if we invert Stones, we like Diaz and Nunes. That matchup can be fatal for us, but we just have to trust that Diaz is he's not quick, but he's smart and he's like experienced and he know how to handle Nunes. I think so, and also he will have backup from Walker. Like Walker won't be near the sideline, so they will be in a proximity like close to each other. So I think we have to full send it. I think we should invert Stones, leave Diaz to Nunes, and win the midfield. Because I don't see any of the back four from Liverpool inverting. Well, not with great success. I don't think they have the capabilities to do it since they missed miss Trent. So
But that's
full
what
send it.
Mukeshi's saying there, Si. You know what I mean? Without Trent
Yeah.
inverting, if Stones does go in there, like I say, the options for Liverpool would be if Stones goes in, Núñez goes in with him. But if Núñez goes in with Stones, whilst yes, then you probably get a little bit more control. You make it more difficult for City to play through the midfield. You're then losing the threat of going the other way. So that's a bit dumb. Liverpool have to make a decision as well, and they're in the same position as City, by the way. Here, it's about what risks do they take. If they let Stones go in there, they risk losing control of that midfield and City just playing around the midfield. But their reward would be if they can nick it, maybe a sloppy pass in that box area there in the middle. McAllister gets on it, and McAllister has a simple job: put the ball in behind for Núñez to chase it. The rewards obviously are great. So I think it's a super interesting matchup, that midfield, and what Liverpool do is going to be super interesting.
I don't think that.
Sorry.
I don't think that Núñez will follow Stones in. Like normally when we play at Anfield, it's early in the season, and Pep will go like 10, 15 yards further back than normal when we play at Anfield. I don't think he will on Sunday, because we have to win this time. This time, at this point in the season, we have to win it. So I think that we will be 10, 15 yards further forward than Liverpool are expecting us to be, which will allow more room for Núñez to run in behind. So I don't think he will follow Stones. And that will give us the upper hand.
He can't follow Stones. He can't.
No, exactly.
He can't follow.
So it's a risk benefit. Like either we will win doing it, or we will lose doing it. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we come on. Sorry, Tom, what do you want to say?
I was just going to say, you were saying about risk and reward, and you both hinted on it in different ways. City will play the risk game far greater than Liverpool in this game. Without doubt, we do tend to anyway. But City will take more risks, and the way we play will be far riskier than Liverpool. And let's hope it comes out with the reward.
Yeah. Just to clarify as well, a couple of people in the chat. Kanate, Klopp said it was just a precaution. So it sounds like Kanate is going to be available for the game. If Kanate is not available for the game, as I said before, the two options that Liverpool would have is you just a straight swap Kanate with Quansah, or you play Gomez in the middle and you play Conor Bradley, the young right back, at right back. So they're the two options that Klopp would have should Kanate not be available. But Klopp did say apparently yesterday that it was just a precaution. So we've got to assume that probably he's probably going to make it. But yeah, that's where we are with that one. Built to Bevel with another super chat says, LB, hear me out. Walker goes forward anyway, allows Akanji to go right back, and Stones drops to centre back. Stronger if we hit on counter attacks, run it, Pep. So I think Bevel wants. Am I right, Bevel? You'd have to send another super chat to put it in the chat. Do you want to see the Stones midfield? Is that what Tony? Do you reckon that's what is that what he's saying?
No, I think he's saying allow Akanji to go right back and Stones drops to centre. So possibly is he saying Akanji's? Oh no, I'm not sure actually, because then he says Walker goes forward anyway.
I think Bevel. I'll put it up on system. I think Bevel wants John Stones in the middle. Kovacic dropped, and I think he wants Akanji there like that.
Right.
Oh,
okay.
I guess it would be like that, because then what he's saying is Walker one forward anyway, and then you effectively go to effectively like the treble sort of system. Obviously, a different player, because obviously Walker didn't play the final, but the treble system with the three players there, and then if we need to, we're under pressure, Stones could always drop back into midfield. The only problem I have with this system, right, and I don't know if any of you, Simon or Tone, or maybe someone in the chat, is say Stones does end up dropping back and we go to sort of like a back five.
Yeah.
Do we have enough with Rodri and De Bruyne in the middle there? Or would we have to tell Bernardo to come in? But then if Bernardo comes in, he goes in, then you're just letting Robertson free down the wing. So I don't know. I don't know how there's a risk that if you play that system with Stones and you do force John Stones further back into a defensive shape and you go to a five, that you get overrun. And this is what happened to England against Croatia when we played Henderson and someone else in the middle and Modric and Croatia just went to the wings and we got completely overrun. So I don't know. Listen, like I say, I'm not against playing Stones in the midfield. I think it's just a mad gamble when we've not played it all year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't see it. I wouldn't be massively surprised because Pep does love to throw one in. But yeah, I just like the team as it was set up. Really, Kovacic in there, given the reasons. I just think he's so key for this game. I really do against Liverpool with that. Like I was saying, just after the halfway line and keeping that busy and not letting Liverpool win that ball around that area because that is what they're best at.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up to Eric said it's going to be ugly if City. It's going to be ugly in Liverpool if City win. Says Eric with the €5. Well, I'll be absolutely buzzing if City win, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, if City win Liverpool, win the next 2 games, I think we'll win the league. I think it's that simple. Now, simple as in like you've still got to beat Arsenal, a very good team, and you still got to beat Villa, a very good team. But simple as in the sense that if we beat Liverpool, you win your next 2 games. I think we win the league if you beat Arsenal and Villa after beating Liverpool. Now, it's obviously difficult because they're good teams, but if you do it, I think we'll go on to win it. Big up to Off Meta says, since early on, I've said Jackie G in big games pins teams back in by retaining the ball high up the pitch, while Doku is better to break down weaker teams that give up control. I'm happy that people are catching on. I mean, we all agree. I think most people agree. Jackie Grealish would have been superb in this game. You know what I mean? What he can offer. But obviously not available. Hopefully he'll be back for the Arsenal game. He also says, I think Akanji should play right back, Walker out, and bring in left wing Doku so Foden can stay central. So Off Meta wants a completely different system to what we want. He wants Walker out, Akanji in. I guess he wants Kovacic out, Foden in, and Doku left wing.
Yeah, I don't know if Doku's fit actually. Pep said about some little issues he's had. He didn't train yesterday, so it'd be interesting to see if he trains today. And Pep's on actually, isn't he? Yeah, he didn't train again yesterday, so about 20 minutes time. Pep's on, so hopefully it's a more positive update, and he's in the squad. Don't see him starting. You said the reasons earlier. I don't see Doku starting this game, but then I didn't see him starting last weekend, and he did. So. Yeah, never know. Yeah.
I would personally not run that system off. Again, I wouldn't be completely crazy if that's the starting 11, but I would just go with the team that we put out before. Walker right back. Unfortunately, Akanji misses out, and Kovacic in the middle with Foden on the left. Mukesh says Klopp has played 4-4-2 versus us. Might drop Diaz. He might drop Diaz. 100%. He might drop Diaz. That's certainly an option. I don't think he's been particularly great as well this year, Diaz. But if they play, that means they probably got to play Gakpo.
But how? So Salah on the far right in the midfield, and who will be on the left?
I think Salah would probably go up, wouldn't he? But on the right hand side,
I would imagine Salah and Nunes.
Yeah.
Who would you play right wing? Would you play?
Exactly.
Conor Bradley, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't think they've got the players for it. Maybe Mukesh, unless you can let us know in the chat what system you think he might play if he goes for that. Maybe let us know in the chat. But we've certainly seen Salah play as a striker, but I don't know if that's going to happen on Sunday.
Sorry.
He says Off Meta is on drugs. Surely, says LB with the £2 donation. I don't know, man. I know Off Meta, bro. He's calling you out here. He's not liking your system. I'm sorry, Tom. What was you saying?
That's right. Gravenberch, I definitely that's how you pronounce it. Is he injured for this one?
Yeah, he's out.
Is he? Yeah, because he's. Yeah.
They say Harvey Elliott makes sense at the right side of the midfield if they did.
Okay.
Yeah,
what was that?
Elliott on the right side of two would make sense. Yeah.
Okay.
That could be. Yeah, Mukesh says Harvey Elliott. Yeah, I guess they could do it, but then you're leaving your midfield. Yeah, 2v4 midfield. No chance, Mukesh. No chance. Klopp's going to do that. You're telling me he's going to leave 2 players in the midfield versus 4 Manchester City players?
No way.
Bro, that's just not going to work.
I tell you what,
see that working.
I do like the thought of Foden up against Gomez, though. You know, when you see it there, because Joe Gomez is I don't particularly rate him. Certainly not out
I don't
on
think
that
he's
right.
been that bad, you know.
I think he's been really good.
I
Really
think
good.
he's
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
honestly, bro.
This
I think
season, wow.
This season he's been
It's so good.
Oh,
really
okay.
good, bro. The guy's been filling in different areas, left back, right back, centre back. I think he's been putting in
Defensive
decent performance.
midfielders two times I think I saw him play.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been really good. Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, I stand corrected. I've not seen as much of Liverpool this season, but last season, whenever I've seen him, but if he's improved, then yeah, hands up. So fair play.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in with a shout of maybe getting in the England squad for sure. Because he's been playing really well and he's just versatile. He's really versatile. So he's been doing good.
Okay,
Having said that, the original point it stands. Like you would like to think that Foden could play well against Gomez, but I don't think it's a foregone sort of conclusion. Guys, we are going to wrap it up in a second. Please make sure you drop a like on the stream if you've not done so already. Big up to Dylan as well with a super chat. Says Pep should play our new Netflix trailer before the game and get the lads fired up. Show the guys the mentality that's needed. I need my Warriors, says Dylan with the 5. Mate, that was wild. I can't wait for that documentary. I watched I don't know if you guys seen it. I watched the Manchester Iconic little movie thing that they did.
Yeah.
Pretty cool as well.
Good.
And
it's very good.
It's wild. And big up to Off Meta again, says, I just miss our 4 centre-back system with Stones inverted next to Rodri to form a 4-man box midfield. So back 3, Akanji, Diaz, Ake while in possession. I don't have a problem with that system. That's fine. Akanji, Diaz, Ake with Stones inverting. That's fine. I do think he's going to play Walker. But Doku for me, even if he's fit, I just can't get him into the team. And I don't think it's right because if he does play badly, he's going to get destroyed, isn't it?
Also at Anfield, it's better to go in a bit more cautious in the beginning and then have Doku and Alvarez to come on late.
Yes.
If we have to chase the game, you have to score a goal. I mean, if we do the other way around, if we start Doku, if it's not working, we have to bring off a offensive player, and that will just harm us in the late game.
I agree. I like having the thought of Doku off the bench. You know what I mean? Yeah. If we say we're 1-0 down, things are going bad, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go, and you're like, right, come on, we need something here. Throw Doku on and just say, just fucking help us out, man. Do something for us.
Yeah, he's an impact player, Doku, at the moment. He's a good player. And again, like you said, LB, I'm not hammering him. So I like him. But he's at the moment, he's a guy you bring on with 20, 30 to go and absolutely rinse them down that side.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I'm just liking some comments. Big up to Bevo again with another super chat. Says, LB, Stones in the midfield, but drops to centre-back on the counter. Stones natural centre-back, so instinct will be to get back. Foden right wing, invert Silva to left wing. On the ball, I don't have a problem with it. Off the ball, if Stones is running back to centre-back, we've only got Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne in the middle. That's a bit of a concern. You could say, okay, well, Foden and Silva can play compact, but that then just gives Connor Bradley or Gomez and Andy Robertson just the freedom to run up and down the wings. So, listen, again, I'm not fully against it. I just don't know if this is the game to play it. But then, again, risk versus a reward. You got to risk losing to win the game. But listen, guys, I'm going to call it time there. We've had some good numbers in the stream today, man. Hopefully, you guys did enjoy the show. I thought it was a good conversation. I think I pretty much now nailed down my starting 11. I know what I want to see. But there are a couple of alternatives that I would be content with seeing as well. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. I've got another show coming out tonight around 9 p.m. I've got Grizz Khan on the show and Errol, 2 Liverpool fans. So we're going to be discussing, get their views really, sort of really look into the Liverpool, their sort of game plan, how they see the game being set up from a Liverpool point of view. So make sure you join me at 9 p.m. tonight. It's going to be a good show. And then tomorrow, I've got a video coming out in the evening, myself and Hussam. We've just done a video, then a half-an-hour video, which is a pretty interesting take. He's got some interesting views on the game, and then might have a tactical preview as well with Judge Mo. So we'll see. But big up to Sai. Sai, what are you doing this weekend, man? Up to much, bro, other than the game?
Not much. It's all about Liverpool this weekend. Everything. So yeah, I'm gonna be watching all your streams as always, and I'm really looking forward to the one with Errol and Chris. So that's gonna be a fire. And always the underdog story from Hussam. Well, I'll be there.
Yeah, man. And Tone, I don't know if you need to reassess the decision to go for a curry tomorrow night, mate. I think that might be I think that's a dodgy decision.
It is, yeah. Well, it's Mother's Day Sunday as well, remember, guys. So It is this Sunday. Yeah, it is definitely this Sunday. So we're going out tonight for a meal because I had a bit of a moan. Part of it was because I didn't want to go out Sunday for a meal because the game's on. So we're going out tonight, not for a curry tonight, a different meal tonight. But so I'm going out tonight, so I'm free Sunday. But I do like to try and keep myself busy on big games like the Rag game. I might go out for a run. I'll do anything, bloody anything, just to do. But I can't eat before a big game. Can't do it. I'm just too nervous. So yeah. But yeah, other than that, it'll be same as Si. All football, all City.
No,
Don't tell me.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, guys. Big up to the super chatters today and the members. Big up to Puneet, Chicken Wing, Bevo, Kenneth, Mukesh, LB, Eric, Off Meta Professor, Dylan. I think that's everyone. Big up to you guys. Thanks for supporting. As always, please make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching this back on the replay, please make sure you're giving us your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I want to know what you guys are saying. And I'll see you tonight, 9 p.m. Errol and Grizz Khan. See you later, guys.